Hello Virgo, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, it does not cost anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember that the most important part, Virgo, of any tarot reading is you. And we've got a Six of Cups. This is pleasure, right? This is tranquility. This is really kind of having the best moment of your life, right? We feel the best that we felt in a long time. And I think you've earned this. I think this is overdue. I think that this is a lot of really, literally pleasure, relaxation. This is a lot of feeling accomplished, right? It's a six. It's supposed to be a card of kind of overcoming the obstacle, or really success after a really busy period, right? You have the 5, now we've got the 6. I feel like there is like emotional rest, right? Emotional relief and tranquility. And it's kind of like all the busy emotions now have been settled, and it's just kind of like it's all worth it, right? This is the best feeling that we've had in a long time. Now, we're going to put that into some context. I also want to point out that a few cards did volunteer when we were shuffling. So we're going to use these 3 cards as our 3 mystery cards today. Okay? And we're going to put Bob Ross right on top, and he's just going to have to be responsible for all 3. I don't know what to tell you. We're going to put this 6 of Cups into a little bit more context. Now we've got this Chariot energy. I think that one of the reasons, anyway, why we feel such tranquility right now, and why this feeling of satisfaction and this best feeling, this euphoric feeling almost, I think it's because the show's finally getting on the road. Because what you've been building is finally now like kicking off. All this preparation now is paying off and is resulting in really, hitting the road, so to speak, with the Chariot there. 4 of Wands, yeah, that makes sense, because I feel like there is a lot that you've accomplished already. Like really ticking off a lot of things off of your to-do list, right? Accomplishing a lot of these little things that are the preparation to get the show on the road, to get that Chariot moving. You didn't always believe it. There were forces that were trying to stop you. Okay. We've got the World or Universe card. I think that we are kind of looking at this thing in a couple different ways. We're kind of thinking like, I'm actually going to get to my destination. We're actually going to arrive where we've set out to go. On the other hand, the universe is kind of infinite, right? We think of the world, we think of something tangible where we could, if we really tried, we could find a destination. And there is, there's kind of a finite quality to the world itself. But when we think of the universe, which is what this card actually is called in the Thoth deck, we realize that the universe is infinite. We realize that we don't really have an end goal, right? There are goals, and there are great goals, and there are journeys to those goals. But once we reach a certain point, we realize that space keeps going, that the possibilities keep extending outward. Once you get to the edge of space, right, it's kind of like the edge then moves back, and you've got another however many billions of light years to travel, yeah? So it's kind of like we get to what we think is the end. We get to that big win. We get to that big accomplishment, and then we think, wow, there's a lot more life for me to live. So we kind of have that renewal of energy, okay? And speaking of that, now we've got the Magician. The Magician understands the ways of the world, understands the ways of the universe, the subtle mystery of things, right? Which in some ways is what I've just told you, about it's kind of the moving goalpost that we kind of invoke there. We've got the Moon, we've got the Tower, we've got the Princess of Cups, and Empress status at the end. This is blowing me away. all of this work is really setting you up for the best kind of life that you can imagine, okay? You've been through a lot of uncertainty, you've been through a lot of change, a lot of trouble, a lot of upheaval. But you're really getting the show on the road. And on the road is really where we like to be, right? I mean, I can't help, especially with the magician here, I can't help think of a touring, musician or something. It seems like, your favorite bands are always touring. They're always doing it. Why? They take some time off and they go home and they rest and they relax, and then it's right back to work. There really is no end game. There is no end result. It's just to keep doing what you love. If you love what you do, you don't want it to end. You don't want there to be a final goal where you can just hang up the gloves, throw in the towel, and say, I'm done. Right? And I think we've seen that with a lot of, our aging artists and musicians and stuff. They say, this is the final tour, like Led Zeppelin, the final tour. Eventually it will be, right? But if you love what you do, you enjoy doing it so much. And I'm sure there are a lot of pressures from outside as well, which we do see here with that Seven of Swords. There's pressure from the outside to keep going, but there's also pressure from the inside to keep going, right? And so we make a decision, well, let's keep the show on the road. Let's keep doing this, And to me, that's kind of the nature of the magician. It kind of is able to meet the pressures of outside with its own kind of corresponding pressure from inside. Now, if there was a discord, if it's that, the outside pressures really want me to do this, but I'm not really feeling it, then we'd have a different story, right? Then we wouldn't be into it so much. There'd be a lot more conflict here. We'd maybe see some more fire energy, which we honestly don't have very much of. We've got the fire energy here with the Four of Wands because you've been completing a lot of these tasks, a lot of the preparation. And in other words, this is kind of one round of the tour, and then you come back home and we've completed the tour, and then we're preparing to go back out to the next one. But the Seven of Swords here in the background, I think, is a lot of, has been a lot of kind of conflicting energy in the past. A lot of, I think, pressures, again, from the outside. Distractions. Sometimes it's our own doubts. Sometimes we're not really sure what we want to do, right? And maybe we've entertained the idea of not doing it, right? And we've kind of decided that what we really want is to move forward with this. Now, I don't know if we're talking about a business or a relationship or some big life change, right? There's a lot of change going on with the moon and the tower. There is a lot of change, but the good news that we see, especially with the 4, the 6, and the World card, is that we're arriving at that destination, which again extends further out once we get there. But all of this change and this upheaval and this period of doubt that you went through, where you weren't even sure if this is what you cared about anymore. I think we've gotten through this period, and this is, I think there's just conflicting opinions, maybe friends, family telling you different things, your own conflicting thoughts and doubts and suspicions maybe. I think we've overcome this because if we look around the room, this is the only air energy that we see. We've got fire here, we've got our water, we've got some water here, we got a little bit of air, right? And the only real earth energy we have is up here with the Empress energy. It's kind of a Mother Earth energy, a natural energy. And we've got the Universe or World card, which is, it's a Saturnian energy, but it's a very earthy card as well. So we've got our solid manifestations up here. And then we've got a lot of balance, but we've got a lot of major arcana that's going on also. And with all the change that's been going on, you've really had to fortify yourself, and you've had to put on the right mask, the right costume, the right persona to get this done. Okay, we all have many different faces that we could wear, and part of the magician here is the adaptability, right? Your ability to, whatever situation you're in, you're able to find the right tools to get the job done. Okay, so not only did we strengthen ourselves and fortify ourselves with the armor, right? The charioteer is wearing the armor. In order for this to move forward, you really have to be strong, you really have to be resilient, and you really have to be adaptable. Okay? And I think it's these qualities and your ability to be, well, brave, right? Going through this darkness, the uncertainty of the future was a big deal. If you don't know exactly what's in front of you, it takes a lot of courage to go that direction. Okay? So these qualities, all of them together, are really bringing you this Empress status. Now, again, this could be a work thing, it could be a relationship, could be some spiritual progress that we're making, but we went through a period of doubt, we went through a period of perhaps trying to resist some of the different pressures from outside. This isn't just opposition, this isn't just like a two of swords or a two of wands or something. This is a lot of different things going on. There are people pressuring you to go this way, pressuring you to go that way. There's pressure coming from ourselves that sometimes we want to go that way, sometimes we want to go a completely different direction. We've overcome this period of maybe relative confusion, okay? And so you're really getting to this kind of final, it's almost like the home stretch of things. You know, it's kind of like I see you driving in this chariot. You're driving down the, your new street, or you're driving up your new driveway to that forever home, to that Empress status. Okay, so this is like the last couple hundred feet. This is like we're almost at the top of Everest. You can see the summit in sight, and I don't really like the Everest metaphor in this case because then it implies we've got to go back down again. But I think this is a continual climb upward for you. I think that you're reaching what you consider to be the goal, the summit of the mountain. And instead of having to come back down and get back to normal life, I feel like you're just going to keep climbing. Like it's a mountain that keeps growing. As you get to the top, it grows a little bit taller. So you always have something more to do, right? And again, if you love what you're doing, Six of Cups, if you find pleasure in the journey, you don't want the journey to end. It's kind of like a kid who's on a road trip, really wants to get to the amusement park. That's going to be a lot of fun. But the road trip is so much fun too. You're singing songs with your friends or your family or whatever. You got your toys with you, whatever. You got snacks, You get to see a lot of things going by the window. It's a nice trip. We have fun doing it. We enjoy the ride. And so we don't want it to end. And I think that's the beauty of this, is that this is living energy. It does not have to end. Okay? You're very happy that some parts of it are ending, though. We have the Four of Wands underneath everything. You've been doing a lot of busy work. You've been the one responsible for kind of tying up all the loose ends, making sure all of these various projects, a myriad of projects, they all get done on time, right? It's kind of almost an analogy. You're at work and you've got a million things that you got to do before you go on vacation come Friday afternoon, So we've got to close out all these accounts. We've got to finish all this paperwork. We've got to do all this kind of stuff. And then we get to leave on our big vacation, and it's going to be really fun. But we have to get all that stuff done in order to make that happen. So this was a real intense focus for you, getting all of these things done. And maybe it is a work thing for you, okay? But maybe it's something going on in your personal life, and maybe it's something creative, artistic. I think it feels like a leveling up of your life generally, okay? So career, yes, the work you do, the spiritual work, your interactions with other people, your relationships, and your creative work, and your home life, and all of these things, I think we're really achieving what I am calling that Empress status, where you are kind of, it's a life where if we keep feeding it, it's going to keep growing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like, it has a life of its own. It just keeps growing and getting better and better. The more energy we put into it, the more efforts we put into it. I think you really are someone that likes to have a lot of irons in the fire. Okay? You don't like being so hectic or, busy, like chaotic busy. But you like to have a lot of things going on at once because you're able to multitask very well. And that's evidenced by this Four of Wands. You like to have a lot of things going on as long as you can be in charge and as long as you enjoy doing them in some way, as long as we can find something enjoyable about them. You want to have, I think, like a lot of different businesses. You want to have a lot of different kind of activities or hobbies, even a lot of projects started. You know, you probably have a lot of different things. I think you're a very crafty kind of person. So you probably have a lot of different things that you're building, right? And it's not like you start them and don't finish them. You start them, you make a little bit of progress, you start something else, something else, something else, something else, and then we circle back around. And that's kind of like what we have here, the circle, right? This is the terrestrial time clock. It's our earthly schedule. Okay, and this is the thing that says, you know, everything's got to be done by 5 p.m. on Friday, and then we're free, and then it's the weekend, then it's the vacation, and we can go on our road trip, and we can really start doing what we love to do. We could really start doing like the vacation part of it, the big kind of the next big step of things, which is going to be work too. That's why we need to have the armor. We have to be prepared for what is going to require. As you grow in life, your responsibilities grow with you. The intensity of your work grows with you. But your ability to handle all that work also grows. The rewards that we get from the work also grow, right? So again, it's that life that kind of feeds itself, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and better and better. And it again, 6 of Cups, it feels really, really good. Okay. So I feel like this is really a good energy for you. I feel like we're really leveling up things right now. Going to the path of the serpent, we start with this moon energy. This was not something that you were able to foresee the ending of. It could be that this was a journey, a road trip, a leveling up, a kind of the Empress destination, you know. We didn't see it coming, especially between these two. It was just like a sudden change that just shook the whole world, and you just had to be ready and adapt and be resilient and start moving forward, not knowing where it would take you, not knowing that this would lead you to your paradise life, your Empress status. You know, the Moon card is that card that says you don't know what's happening tomorrow. You don't know what's happening 1 second from now. We could be fairly sure. I could be 99.9% sure that the sun will rise at some point in the next 24 hours. But I can't say that with absolute certainty. Okay? I never speak in absolutes, actually. We could be fairly confident. We could be confident enough that we would place a bet on that. I would bet that the sun's going to rise. You know, I'll take that gamble. But it's not always, we're not always even that certain. I mean, 99.9, that's pretty good, right? That's as pure can be, right? But in this situation, I don't think you really knew. I think things happened so fast for you, you kind of got blown away, almost swept away by the energy. I think that what you've accomplished in the last year is more than you feel you've accomplished in the last 10 years. Like everything just happened so fast, you know? And you had to learn how to do so many things. The Magician energy too, talking about your ability to soak up skill and knowledge and experience. You can adapt and you're resilient, right? So whatever the situation calls for, you know the right tool to use, or you can learn it, you know. So you had to learn a lot of different things in the last year in order to adapt to this situation, this fast-moving situation that I think is really, it's your breakout year. This is where everything in your life has changed. I think if you look at every area of your life, from the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative, your interpersonal life, everything has really been kind of torn down and built back up. Everything has been renovated, you know? And that's what I see with the Tower. I don't always see this as a bad card. Every card has light and shadow, right? So this isn't a bad card. This is a card of renovation. This is a card of breakthrough, breakout energy, okay? But in your case, it feels like renovation. It feels like how your life has been for quite a while suddenly was torn down and built back up into this kind of this dream paradise empress status life that you never saw coming, right? It just suddenly we find ourselves on this path and we've got to try to keep up. And that, I think, it's been a whirlwind. It's been rocky. There's been ups and downs. There's been arguments. But there is this underlying joy and pleasure of it all. Because you know what you're creating. You've got an intuition about the kind of potential that's here. Again, we can't be certain about anything. We don't really know what's going to happen in the future. But you've got this confidence with that Six of Cups that we know this is good. And we know that things are getting better. I know that I'm enjoying the journey, even though this is the most work I've done. This is as busy as I've ever been. But it's a good busy. It feels good because you know you're building something that's real. You're building something that really grips you. It makes you want to keep going and keep climbing up that mountain, right? So this is that kind of renovation. Nobody likes destroying their bathroom. I mean, maybe it's fun to hit stuff with a sledgehammer, that aside. Nobody wants to tear the walls down from their house, But if we know that we're actually rebuilding it better, then maybe there's a little bit of added pleasure in taking the sledgehammer to your bathroom or your kitchen counters, because we know we're renovating it. We're not just destroying something. That would be kind of counterproductive, right? No pun intended. If we're renovating it, we know that we are rebuilding it better than it was before. And it could be that you are just suddenly in this situation. Could be career, could be home, could be friends, family, could be your romantic or your spiritual life. We're swept away by this energy, and it is like a renovation of our life. But you've been happy to hit stuff with the sledgehammer because you know that things are getting rebuilt better, bigger, better, right, stronger. And I really do like the Princess of Cups here. I feel like this is the manifestation of your dream. I feel like this is something that maybe you have seen clues about. Spirit, I think, has been kind of dropping these hints now and again for you that this was something that is part of your life. Like maybe from a young age, you realize that you're meant for something great, that you're going to be a tremendous success in life. But we had no idea of where or when, right, or how it would happen. So I think what's going on with the Princess of Cups is you're starting to realize that all of your dreams do eventually come true. And I mean, I don't mean like your literal like dreams and nightmares and those things that happen when we're sleeping, right? I mean like your life goals. Those kinds of dreams, right? Because I feel like you've had dreams, and it's maybe we've got so wrapped up in work and a kind of normal life that we lost sight of our dreams. That we stopped having these really great goals because they just seemed too far out there, right? I wonder if one of these mystery cards will be the Star card. I'm predicting the Star and the Sun for those mystery cards. I don't know about the third one yet. But I think you're starting to realize that your dreams really can come true. And it's just a matter of the right timing, not our own earthly time. It's not that we just kind of, if I do enough stuff to prepare, then I'll get to take the vacation on the weekend, It's kind of up to spirit, right? We don't operate by terrestrial time. Wheel of Fortune is the other card. I bet. How much do you want to bet? I'm willing to take that gamble, I think, today. Maybe we should look at one. Maybe we should do one at a time on these mystery cards. We don't want to get Bob Ross too tired over there. I dropped all these daily affirmation cards. Well, since I'm fumbling with them, let's take a look at one of these. These are little tiny, we'll just select one. Better days ahead, it says. These are little miniature affirmation cards that my daughter found for me at a toy store that we were at a couple of weeks ago, I guess. And they're just little daily affirmation cards. And this one says, better days ahead. Well, yeah, I'll say, if better days ahead are these Empress days, this is better days. And what this card, I think, is for you, I think you need to be close to nature. I feel like you're going closer to water. I feel like you're getting a life that is, I feel like it's slower paced, but it's not. You're still very, very busy. But part of your busyness is just relaxing, you know? I feel like it's a lot more work to do, but you've leveled up so far that it's so pleasurable, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like a million things you got to do every day. It feels like a million things that you want to do every day, you know? And so we're excited to pack our days full of activities. Yeah. Better days ahead. Yeah, I like this one. That's a pretty good one there. Let's try to put these back. And we'll get back to these mystery cards. We're going to do just this first one now. And if you have any predictions for what these are, I want you to put them down in the comments as usual. And I'm thinking Sun, Star, or Wheel of Fortune. Nope, I'm totally wrong. But it is the Builder, right? It is the Prince of Pentacles. And it's nice that we have some pentacles here because we're talking about renovation. Well, we've got the disruptive destruction, the sledgehammer to the kitchen counters. But now we got the contractor in there really fixing it up nice, right? So we've got this rebuilding energy too. And I think this is a really good sign because you've been through this period of tearing everything down. And maybe now it's the start of the rebuilding. It's the start of really putting the granite countertops and the nice backsplash or whatever, really making it look good. So this is now the time of building back up, right? The time of tearing down, I think, has already taken place. Let's do the next mystery card here. Again, I'm going to say for this one, Sun, Star, or Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Oh no, this one's a Four of Swords. Well, in some ways, I feel like this is the card that says, I told you so. You know, that you, part of this Empress status is being confident, right? Being sure of your own decisions, not having any kind of anxiety or worry. That Seven of Swords, that's some anxiety, that's some worry, that's some doubt. We've gotten over that. Now, it's almost that we're stoic. Now, you'll hold court. And you'll have visitors come in and you'll listen to what they have to say, but you're not swayed by the opinions of others because you're confident in your ability to manifest your life, right? You've achieved that Empress status, that you have torn things down and you have rebuilt them according to your dreams. And now the mind is almost like a servant to the spirit, yeah, to your spirit. And the mind isn't so worried anymore, isn't running around in circles and causing chaos. The mind is just calm and peaceful, is waiting for the kind of the orders from the higher self, the true self, from spirit, from source, and is not swayed by the opinions of others, and no longer entertains these kinds of doubts or the self-criticism, right? Seven of Swords, there's some self-criticism there. Okay, I like this card very much. Now, 3 for 3. Let's see if I can get the third one incorrect. I need to get like a buzzer, right? What if I had a buzzer every time I got the mystery card wrong? I'd have to buzz myself out of the game. Again, if you have a prediction, I want you to put it in the comments. Okay, you're probably doing better than I am today. I'm still thinking Sun, Star, Wheel of Fortune. I feel those major arcana energies. And especially since we're on terrestrial time here, you know, we got the 9 to 5, you finish your work by Friday, you could have the weekend off, right? I feel like we need something else here. So let's take a look. No, we've got another court card. Now we've got more earth energy. Now we've got the Princess of Pentacles. So we've got the Builder. We're restoring the kitchen cabinets. We're rebuilding the kitchen cabinet. Now we've got the Princess of Pentacles. So it's kind of like, why stop at the bathroom? Why stop at the kitchen counters? Let's rebuild the whole house. Let's rebuild the whole neighborhood. Let's rebuild the whole universe, right? And that is an example of how that goal keeps getting pushed further and further out. And of course, if you rebuild the bathroom, you're like, well, I hit it with a sledgehammer, it crumbled down, tower moment. I got to rebuild it, Builder. I wasn't worried about it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. let's keep doing it. Let's do it again. Let's do it somewhere else. Maybe you're going to do it for a living and you're going to be on one of those TV shows that drives around knocking people's houses down and rebuilding them, you know. I love that show. I don't remember what it's called. Home Makeover or something like that, right? I think so. But this is an example of how that goal keeps getting pushed further and further out, you know. That we get to the top of the mountain, we think, I got the bathroom all put together. It looks nice. Let's do something else. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. It's so much fun. We're enjoying the ride so much. Let's just keep going. You know, you're on that road trip. You get to the amusement park. You say, yeah, I mean, that's fun, but let's just keep driving. This is really fun. You know, maybe we stop there for a minute, go on a couple of, you know, roller coasters. Then we'll get back in the car and we'll go driving around again. Because there's so much more to see. You know, the amusement park is kind of like this looks like a Ferris wheel. It's kind of that enclosed terrestrial time. It's kind of that finite world where we kind of know what's there, we know what to expect. But here, in the infinite, there is no limitation. It is all possibility, right? It is all possibility. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up here. There's a link down below. New readings for Virgo every Tuesday and Saturday at 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Virgo, I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.